Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
Black jewel miners have not been paid for 3 months, and they have been camped out on the railroad tracks in Cumberland for about 8.5 weeks. Today, that peaceful protest came to an end. They packed up camp, but they still have not been given their money. WYMT's Emily Bennett talked to them about the decision to leave.
It's a place that has almost become like home.
We made a really good stand. We've got our point across. But unfortunately, we got to go back to work. We got families to support.
Miner Chris Rowe has been at the protest site from day one, sleeping every night in this tent by the tracks.
Go home long enough to take a shower and I come right back.
But now Chris and his wife Stacy are the only ones left.
Not really comfortable with it, but I got to do what I got to do.
Miners are finding work, going back to school, and are too busy to spend time at the protest site.
I'm really heartbroken that I'm having to go because I don't like backing down from people, from fights and stuff.
They made the decision to pack up as Chris was offered a job driving truck that he could not pass up.
I hate all this happened, but maybe it was a blessing in disguise because we got the opportunity we did for him to go on the road and drive, and we'll be with him all the time.
The decision was not easy, and the time at the tracks proved to be a learning experience.
You take enough people that has been treated as wrong as we had got, you can come together and make a bond with people that, you never thought you would.
And now that it is over, Chris wants people to know one thing.
The phone calls, the messages, the food, everything. And I just want to say thank you because you guys are what kept us going.
Forever grateful for everyone that rallied behind them. In Harlan County, Emily Bennett, WYMT Mountain News.
Black Jewel is still in negotiations with the Department of Labor over the coal still on those tracks. If no agreement is reached by October 1st, a court-ordered mediation will be held in early October. A federal report suggests an Eastern Kentucky coal miner died because the mine operator did not effectively prevent the dangers of falls from pillars of rock and coal. Matthew North died in May following a coal and rock fall at Rex Coal Company's CVB No. 1 mine. The report indicated the coal and rock weighed 2,000 pounds. North was moving a power cable for the machine when the piece fell on him. He later died at a Tennessee hospital.
And some of us are still dealing with a few of those clouds across the area, but those are really starting to clear out in some areas as well. We'll go ahead and take you to a few of those cameras looking on top of Buffalo Mountain. You can see us still dealing with the clouds here in Perry County as that cold front is really right over us, looking over to the Mountain Parkway. A few clouds over there as well, but they've kind of seen that mixture of sun and clouds throughout the day. And as we go ahead and look at those temperatures, you can see where those clouds are, especially down into parts of Harlan, Jonesville, Wise, even over into Williamsburg as well. They're into those 70s because of the cloud cover. Some of us have gone into the lower 80s today. You can see that cloud cover here on satellite and radar and those rain chances we saw a little bit earlier today. Now, they really weren't a lot. We didn't see as much as we would like, but at least we saw just a little bit, or at least some sprinkles. Now, the drought monitor was also updated today. You could see a lot of our area was added into that severe drought. That includes Breathitt County, Perry County, Leslie County, Knott County, even some of Magoffin, Lee, and Owsley County. So a lot of us have been added to that, but a lot of us were added to the moderate drought. Almost all of our area is in that. And the drought continues along with those warmer temperatures. Normal high 74 degrees. And as we head into tomorrow, we'll be near 88 degrees. And that heat looks to continue as we head into the weekend as well. I'll have more on that coming up in just a few short minutes.
All right, Paige, thank you. A woman says she was arrested and taken to jail all because she says police thought she was someone else. Kim Bryant says she was caught speeding and did not have her license when she was stopped on I-75, but she says what happened next was a nightmare. She was taken to jail where she had to spend the night. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more on how mistaken identity led to her arrest.
Yeah. People shouldn't be treated that way.
Kim Bryant was headed to an appointment in Berea when the blue lights showed up behind her. She knew she was caught speeding, but she only expected a ticket for that. having recently misplaced her driver's license.
And they said they had a warrant for my arrest.
A check of her name and social turned up a Kim Bryant wanted on warrants from McCracken County, a place she says she's never been. The next thing she knew, she was headed to jail.
I wasn't the person that did this, and they wouldn't listen to me. They just threw me in there.
The Kim Bryant wanted on warrants wrote a cold check some 20 years ago. This Kim Bryant spent nearly 24 hours in jail, all because of the mistaken identity.
Listen, if you had just spent a day and a half in there for something you didn't do, it would make you realize we don't live in a safe place.
We tried to get to the bottom of this to figure out how and why this happened. We talked to officials in McCracken County who said they believe this is possibly a case of identity theft. We also called pretrial services, who simply said we would need to talk to the Berea Police Department to figure out why this person was arrested. Berea police say their officers were following due diligence and making an arrest based on the information they had.
Somehow or another, my social was connected to this other Kim Bryant.
Bryant says to her it's just terrifying that an innocent person could spend time in jail all because of a mistake. In Madison County, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
Bryant was arrested and booked in jail Wednesday afternoon, but it took until today for a judge in Paducah to sign off on the mistake and release her from jail. A Perry County man will spend 8 years in jail for shooting a woman last year. Dustin Howard pleaded guilty to assault earlier this year. He shot and injured Rissa Noble last October. The Commonwealth's attorney says Howard also pleaded guilty to identity theft and tampering with a leg bracelet today. On Monday, Martin County Concerned Citizens and the Appalachian Citizens Law Center will release an independent report on Martin County's water crisis. They will release their findings in Frankfort. Organizers tell us the new report found water is currently unaffordable for 46% of people in the county. The release is scheduled for 1 p.m. Monday. Today, Hazard City officials posted a picture of a building they demolished on Facebook. Here's a look at the debris. Officials said in the post it is a move to make the city safer by removing an unstable and unsafe building. Earlier this year, they started enforcing an ordinance on unsafe buildings. Some were condemned and officials vowed to remove them. Frontier Nursing in Leslie County was facing some heat from people in the community after minutes from a meeting leaked online. The minutes seemed to show the possibility of moving a famous cabin that serves as a historic landmark. WYMT's Connor James has more.
Yeah, Steve, the post of the minutes on social media caused a lot of uproar and said that Frontier had possibly planned to move their historic Wendover home and the stained glass window on a historic building. Frontier Nursing has been in Leslie County since 1939 when Mary Breckenridge founded it. It was first a hospital in Leslie County. It was that way for decades until becoming a nursing school. Recently, the college bought a campus in Versailles where they will eventually move their students and classes. That Wendover home is owned by Frontier, and people were worried based on the minutes that the idea of moving the home was proposed.
It's a significant impact on our local economy. We've got several jobs, dozens of jobs that are going to be affected. Plus the folks that are coming in that are taking these classes are spending money in the restaurants and the gas stations and in the general stores. So we're going to lose all that when these folks leave.
Since then, we've received a statement from Frontier Nursing. In a part, it says, quote, "The goal is to keep Wendover financially solvent for many years to come. Relocating the big house was one of the many ideas proposed during a brainstorming session. Upon further exploration, we realized that we cannot envision a plan where we move Wendover." Now, we're still hoping to find out about the stained glass window on another part of Frontier Nursing properties. This is obviously a developing story. We'll have much more coming up at 11. Steve.
All right, Connor, thank you. Flu season is coming. Sunday begins Kentucky's official flu season. Influenza activity typically starts to increase in October and peaks between December and February. That's when we start seeing more and more people get sick. The CDC says about 8% of Americans get the flu each year. Thousands die from it and other related illnesses. The best protection is to get your flu shot and to keep your hands clean and away from your eyes, nose, and mouth. A big name is coming to Kroger Field in Lexington, but we will not know who for several days. It's a well-kept secret, but here's what we do know. For the first time ever, a concert is going to be held inside the stadium at Kroger Field. UK made that announcement this morning. They are partnering with Live Nation for the event, which is happening soon. It's scheduled in early October, but we will not know who's performing until next Tuesday. And we are told the headliner is going to be there for the announcement.
But I think it'd be an awesome event. There's 70,000+ seats in there. And I mean, they could definitely sell it out with the student body.
Again, we'll have to wait till next week to find out who it's going to be. Should be interesting.
You're headed out to the Chicken Festival, whether that's Friday or Saturday. It's going to be hot. It's going to be steamy. Also adding in a few of those isolated rain chances as well. But will that hot and steamy conditions continue even more? Well, of course, I'll have that answer coming up in just a few short minutes.